Hello and welcome back. We're in Hyogo. This is the finals of the Wave 2 CS. What a time to be alive. And we've actually got a BY mirror here, which is something new. Have we seen BY in any of these finals so far? I don't think so, and we've certainly not seen a BY mirror. Bit of a blast of the past. My friends out in the West will be pretty familiar with these decks. These BY decks have been ruling the roost for quite a while. We do see the hand here from the first player. Looks like we've got double baby Sabos, double big Sabos, and a Garp. Pretty nice hand, you need to see those Sabos. And the hand from the other player, we have a guaranteed Moria, we've got a Sabo, a Markano, an Ivankov, and an Event. Pretty good hands for both players, nothing too crazy. This mirror is really weird. It's a really weird game of chicken that you sort of have to play with your opponent. You can ask them the question, but if they have the answer, sometimes you lose on the clapback. It's a really interesting one. So we'll see how these players choose to play it. Player on the right is going to go first, dropping the Garp. Looks like we got the choice of a big Sabo or a baby Luffy. Going to go with the Luffy. Makes sense. I believe this is the player that already had two Sabos, and indeed it is. So we've got a very Ace Sabo Luffy hand looking there. Player on the left does draw a baby Sabo, which I'm sure he's thrilled to see. And we do see the pass, going to hold the event for when he needs it. Player on the right, going to draw an Egghead Luffy for turn. Looks like we are going to see the aggression from the player on the right with the Garp swinging 5. And then we'll see the leader swing 5 as well. We do get an ace off that first life. Does he want to take both? He does. Very interesting. Okay, we're going to get a Garp off that second life. So we'll see what the player on the left does with their 4 Dons. Looks like they drew a Flompe. Probably not going to get a lot of value out of the Flompe right now, given that he's already at 2 life. Would be a little risky to go down to 1. But we'll see. Maybe we'll see 5 into the Garp to remove that threat. We're going to see 6. Is this leader or is this Garp? This is leader. Okay. No trigger there. Just gets a Flompe. Flompe, very nice for the player on the right. We'll see what we get here. 1 for the event, it looks like. Do a little searching. Seems good. Got to be looking for a whole bunch of things still. The baby Luffys, the baby Sabos. Looks like we're eyeing up a baby Luffy. Yeah, there's double baby Luffy there, so it would seem smart to grab one. We do see 1 each of the big Luffys in that hand, and we do see that the player on the left is playing Hyogo. So the player on the right was opting for quite a lot of Kuzans in their build, it looks like. The player on the left looking more towards the Hyogo, which is pretty interesting. I doubt Hyogo's very good in this matchup because of that Sabo's protection. But, you know, it's a nice ditch off your Sabo or a nice ditch off your leader's effect. So, there's that. You do see the Garp come down. Unfortunately, bottom decking a Moria. We can either grab a Luffy, an Egghead Luffy, or a baby Ace. We are going to grab the big Luffy, excuse me. Which seems sensible. We don't have a baby Ace, but this can enable us to start getting a bit of removal. And draw, which is pretty good. And we'd already bottom decked one of those Egghead Luffys, so it's nice to see one more. See what the player on the right wants to do here. He is on 5. Could just go with the Sabo. Would be pretty reasonable, I think. Pretty reasonable play. Just drop the Sabo. We do see 5 at life. We might see a counter on this one. I can't imagine you love to go down to 1 already. Yeah, it looks like he's eyeing up that Egghead Luffy. And maybe next turn can drop a Sabo of his own. We do see the counter there with the Egghead Luffy. Pretty interesting. Doesn't want to go down to 1. I respect that. And we'll see what the player on the right wants to do here for 5. I imagine it's just a Sabo. Get that little bit of protection. Get that bit of cycle. No Morias yet for the player on the right. So digging towards those as ever. And we do grab a baby Ace. Yeah, I believe that's Ace. No, that's Luffy. That's Luffy, and we do get a 3 Brothers Bond event. Like I say, these black and white baby arts of the babies really confuse me. Looks like we're going to see the ditch on the 2 cards we just got, which is fair enough. Those baby Sabos are going to be pretty important in this matchup, especially if we're not seeing Morias. See the pass over to the player on the left, 6 Dons. Very nice. Looks like we drew an Ace for turn, which is pretty... No, we drew another Egghead Luffy for turn. That Ace was already there. So that's pretty nice, guaranteeing a couple of those. It doesn't interact with a ton in this matchup, especially if you're not playing Kuzan. But if you're playing against Kuzan, he can interact with Kuzan himself. So, you know, there's that. But yeah, Egghead Luffy not going to do a ton this turn because of the Sabo protection. But that's fine. We might just see 6 with leader and then see the Sabo come down. Or even the Ace to do another bit of aggression. Could be pretty cool. We do see the 6 come in. I imagine the player on the right is going to take this. Yeah, it seems good. We do get an Egghead Luffy. No trigger there. And we do indeed see the Sabo. We see another Moria there and a Hiyori. Hiyori really nice for setting up that life. Being able to use Hiyori for that final life really enables you to stay at 1 a lot easier. It's one of the most important things for this deck. If you're staying at 0, it feels a lot worse than being able to stay at 1 life because you've just got that buffer, right? You can just ditch that life to the bottom of the deck and it's fine. Lets you live an extra turn basically, and that 1 extra turn turns into a lot of extra turns, typically. We will see the pass here. We're on 7 over on the right. Looks like we're separating 2, maybe gonna do Garp. I doubt we see any Flompeys come down. Seems a bit early for those. But you never know. You could see it. Could see it happen. I'm thinking maybe just another Sabo here. Could be quite good. We could even see the swing with the active Sabo. And with the threat of Ace, we could do something like swing 5 with leader. And see what he does. Because they don't love countering. These Black Yellow Luffy decks don't love countering. We do see the take on the 7 though. Just going to get a baby Ace there. Pretty good. And then we see an Egghead Luffy come down and a pass. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. See what the player on the left can do about that. It does have the Hiyori, so can activate this turn if he has enough babies. Can do Luffy for Luffy and then Ace for Ace. Not sure how much he loves that, but you can do it. Would create a pretty threatening board. Highlighting the one-legged toy soldier. Not sure which of these players is playing the one-legged toy soldier. But that's a pretty nice tech. Enabling that Egghead Luffy to hit a 7. Or well, in this matchup, a 5. That's all that really matters. 5 and then 8. Looks like we're portioning the Don, working out what we can do to swing. A lot of options here. I imagine we're going to see the Hiyori come down. Hiyori seems pretty good to me. Swap that life for the Luffy. But we could see the Flompay. We could see the Makino. We could indeed see those. 9 Don does make it a little awkward. But I think it's mostly fine. You only need 8 for double babies, leader effect, and what's it? Are we on 9? Are we not on 9? Are we on 7? Oh no, we're on 8. 8 on the left. I'm lost. He's picking up the Don. 1, 2, 3. Looks like we're on 8 Don on the left. Okay. So yeah, we could do Hiyori, then have 6 left, 2 for leader and 2 for 2 babies. Yeah, that's all the Don. That's pretty good. We do see the 5 come down there. I wonder if we'll just see the block with the Sabo. Looks like we're not going to. You've got to wonder, as he's swinging first, is he going to go push the pace with Ace? You could see it. You could see it. Looks like we're maybe eyeing up 1 for Flompay. Looks like we are. One for Flompay. Get that draw in. Pretty good. Draw that life. And we do get a... What do we get? We got a baby Sabo and another Flompay by the looks of things. Not amazing, but the baby Sabos are always very important. Flompay not so much at this stage of the game. We will need 2 Don on the leader. I do wonder why he swung first, given that he was going to put 2 Dons on his leader anyway. Guess it doesn't really matter because the player on the right took the hit. So, who am I to judge? Who am I to judge? We do see the ditch here of... Looks like he's eyeing up the... Is that the Makino? I can't tell what he's holding. Just the Egghead Luffy. That's fair enough. We're going to see Luffy and Ace come down. Very nice. Luffy's gonna swap with the Luffy, and then Ace will swap with the Ace, and then we can see a swing of 8, which is not too bad. I doubt we see the Luffy pop anything. The Garp, not terribly threatening, especially as we're already a 7k leader. And if we want to, we can make ourselves a 9k leader. We've got 2 more though, looking like we're eyeing up that Ace. Yep, Ace is going to swap with the Ace. Buff the leader again, up to 9k. Very nice play. Will we swing with the Ace? We could just leave it up for next turn. And we are going to do so. I think that's sensible. I think leaving the Ace up there, not giving our opponent anything to attack into, is pretty good. We do have 0 life, which is interesting, but we've got a lot of cards in hand. We've got triple Morias, so the player on the left's looking pretty tidy. Player on the right draws a Kaido. That's an interesting tech. I don't think we saw that in the last round. I guess that's pretty good against Blackbeard. If they can get a Kuzan on the board. I don't know. Are they playing Ice Age? Maybe they're playing Ice Age. Ice Age or Timbers Kick with Kaido is pretty cool. That is a pretty cool combo. And we'll see what they go for here. A lot of options, 1 life left. Do we see the Hiyori? We do see the Hiyori. So they've got that optimal staying at 1 life. Interesting that the player on the left didn't go with the Hiyori combo and instead choosing the Flampe and going down to 0. Not sure how much I love that. But, you know, this aggression is pretty good. It's pretty good. And they did get that extra draw there off of the Flampe, of course, which can help them go an extra turn or 2. Player on the right on 9 Don, Gecko Moria, not live yet. I don't believe he even has one. But it's not live yet regardless, which is obviously not ideal. We can see the Flampe, okay, both players opting for Flampe over Hiyori. Pretty interesting, draws an Egghead Luffy there and a Baby Ace. And then we'll see what he wants to do with this 8. 2 of these are going to have to go on the leader. It looks like we're using the Egghead Luffy effect to remove the Garp. It's interesting. We draw another Kaido. I'm sure he wasn't hoping to see that. I feel like this Kaido could be pretty cool in the matchup, but just not right now. Just not right now. If he does have reduction, being able to remove the Moria in a mirror seems pretty relevant. And developing that massive body that's hard to interact with. 9k swing, always lovely into BY. We do see the ditch on the Sabo for the leader effect. Gonna summon Luffy and Sabo. So I guess mostly using that Egghead Luffy's effect just to get that draw and put it in the trash. Yeah, he had no other dudes in the trash. That's quite funny. That is quite funny. We do see 2 come down for the Luffy. Gonna swap out with the Luffy. Buff the leader. And then we're going to see 2 more for Sabo. Very nice. Keeping it very clean and simple. Sabo for Sabo. Buff leader to 11. And then he's got an 11k swing into the Luffy on the left. Probably just going to block that with Sabo. That would make most sense to me. We can start looping Morias on the left from next turn. Looks like we drew... what was that? A Trash Luffy and a Garp. And we're ditching one of those Kaidos and the Trash Luffy. Pretty good, and we're going to see, okay, there's a very big swing. This is 13, so we're definitely going to see the block with the Sabo here. Yeah, you don't want to counter that with 3 cards. That would feel really bad. These cards are your life in BY. Looks like we're eyeing up Baby Sabo. We're deciding what to trash. We do need 2 for leader effect, and this is probably just a Moria turn. We're debating whether or not we want to loop the Luffy. Wouldn't be able to get rid of anything, but we'll be able to draw a card, which is quite nice. Looks like we're going to trash at one of those Baby Sabos. Not quite sure what baby options he does have in trash. I can obviously trash one here, though. We're going to trash the Baby Sabo, adding back the Egghead Luffy and the Big Sabo. I think we have one of each brother in the trash. It looks to me like we have one of each baby brother in the trash. And we do indeed. We get the confirmation on that there. Pretty nice. We do see the Moria come down for the player on the left. Going to resummon Luffy and Sabo. Very nice. Luffy swaps for Luffy. Buff leader. And will we see one of these Luffy's loop its effect? Just draw a card? I don't imagine so. We just see the Sabo come down here. Buff leader, Sabo effect. Draw 2, trash 2. Very nice. Gets a Hyogo, and is that a baby Sabo, I think? We're going to see the ditch on the Ace and the Ivankov. Seems like a smart choice to me. And the big hit comes in. And the block with Sabo as expected. So, player on the right. He's going to need to find Morias soon. No Morias is pretty brutal. You can survive, right? You can play out these baby Sabos. You can play out these baby Luffys. But you're going to start bleeding resources. Especially at 0 life. Pretty tricky place to be. Yeah, it's the duality, right? You can use the Flompe to dig towards the Morias, but if you don't get them, the Flompe sets you to 0 life. So he can't stay at 1 and have that extra barrier now. He's at 0 for the whole game, pretty much. And it's a pretty tricky spot to be in. The board on the left is crazy threatening. Double Luffy, Ace, Moria, and Sabo. Even if you go to 9, the player on the left can do... They can get, what, like 4 swings in just off the bat? 9 with Luffy, 9 with Luffy, 9 with Ace, and then 11 with Moria. Which is pretty spooky. It's not ideal. Not ideal at all. This turn's going to be pretty costly for a player on the right. Going to cost them a lot of cards. Not having these Morias, very rough. I think right now, the ball is definitely... in the player on the left's court. He's definitely in the lead on this one. Looks like we might see him go for game. We're going to see 9 into life. Ditch on the baby Sabo there. Egghead Luffy effect. Gets rid of nothing, but does draw a card. You just draw an ace. That's not what we were looking for. A lot of bricks in this hand. Wow, not ideal. These Kaidos really showing themselves at the wrong time. Double Kaido already and no Morias. You don't love to see that. You're the player on the right. The player on the left's got to be feeling ecstatic because he's used Don for something that's not Moria or leader effect. You got to be thinking, I'm in the driving seat here. I'm on a roll. We're gonna win. We do see the Brothers Bond event come out finally, and we'll see what he grabs off that. I'm sensing Morias. There is a Moria there. Unfortunately, you can't grab that. Moria is not a brother. But Moria is going to the bottom, and we do get a baby Luffy there. So, you know, it's something. It's 1k counter. But this is really not looking good for the player on the right. This is really not looking good. We're going to have to use leader effect and summon something else and then a Sabo. And then just hope that these 2 Sabos that are on the board are enough to... I don't know. It's just not looking good. Because the player on the left can just do another Moria combo now, right? They can cycle out these Luffys to draw a couple cards. And then they can do their Moria combo. It's really not looking good. It's really not looking good. He's deep in the tank on the right. He's working out what's his best strategy to try and win this game. But yeah, no Morias. You know, it's always rough to see. Ooh. B1 Luffy mirrors. If one player does draw significantly more Morias than the other, it's tough to make a comeback on that. It is really tough, no matter how skilled you are. It's a tough situation to come back from. And it looks like we are going to see the leader effect now. He's eyeing up what to put on there. I imagine it's going to be Luffy and then Sabo. Yep, and it is indeed Luffy and then Sabo. Luffy swaps with Luffy. Very nice. Buff leader to 7. And then Sabo swaps for Sabo. Buffs leader to 9. Draw 2, trash 2. We finally see the Moria. I do feel it's potentially too little too late. But we'll see. Maybe the player on the right can make a miraculous comeback from this one. I think we'll probably see the ditch on the Kaido. Maybe one of these eggheads. Yeah, Kaido and egghead gone. You'll love to see that. And we're going to see a big swing into life. Just the block with the Sabo. Where the player on the right hasn't been able to develop much in the early game. player on the left has been able to just develop one Sabo for the entire game, which has been really nice. You get to use those Luffy effects to continue drawing cards, which is just insane. The more cards you draw with this deck, the better it is. We do see those two Luffys cycle out. Good to see another Moria come down. No need to rush this one. We're in the lead on the left. We've got one Moria on the board. We're about to see another Moria come on the board. Develop probably double Sabo this time. We do see 9 at life. Imagine we might see a block here. But we are potentially eyeing up the 1k Luffy. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. And then we'll see the Moria come down, resummon 2 Sabos probably. Looks like we're up Sabo Luffy. Okay, Sabo Luffy. Get another draw there with that egghead guy. That's such a cracked effect. Effectively, this combo costs you no cards, right? Because your Moria summons 2 dudes, and your leader effect trashes 1, so you've played 2 cards. But if you draw in a card with the Luffy, you're only playing 1 card, and that's just to play the Moria. And then you just get to summon 2 more guys. And go to 9k leader, which is it's just insane. It's just an insane combo. We did cycle out the Luffy immediately there. Looks like we can see the ditch on the Hyogo and the Garp. And then we'll see a big swing at leader. Going to block with the Sabo. Very nice. Just 1 Sabo on the board from the player on the left. Doesn't really matter though. Once you get to that 9k leader, it's so threatening to deal with. And he's been able to develop 2 Morias before the player on the right has even been able to develop 1 Moria. Again, we've said it already. Really tough to come back from this heavy Moria diff in this mirror match. We do see the Luffy cycle out, drawing an Ivankov. Not sure the Ivankov is going to be very good right now. We do see 2 Dons on the leader. Going to resummon. It's got to be... There's only 1 Sabo, so we can ditch another Sabo from hand. I think it does kind of need to be double Sabo. But this just isn't great. This is just not great. We do see the ditch on the Sabo. Gonna summon Egghead Luffy and Sabo. Moria, bring back Luffy Sabo. Luffy can cycle to get that draw effect. Gonna play over the Flampe, of course. Luffy for Luffy, very nice. We'll see if he cycles immediately to get that draw. I think we likely will, and indeed we do. We see a Moria, which is a good card, but not one you love to see when you're looking for counter. But we see there's all the Morias. We finally found them. But I'm not sure how much longer we have in this game. Double Morias on the board. It's not great. It's not great, and we're gonna see a third come down as well. There's no reason for this BY player on the left to do anything but Moria double Sabo here. I fear. Yeah, it looks like we're eyeing up Luffy Sabo again though. We're gonna see 9-9. We did counter the first 9 with the Garp. Looks like we're gonna counter the second 9 with the Ivankov. Very nice. Then we'll see the Moria come down, play over the ace, Sabo Luffy, leader effect, trashing, Garp. This player's playing very fast. He knows what to do. He knows this deck way better than I do. That's why he's in the finals. Luffy's going to cycle out. Very nice. Buff leader. Egghead Luffy going to cycle. Draw 1. KO nothing, of course. Sabo comes down, gives that cycle. Going to see the ditch on the Brothers Bond event and a 1k. Yep, here's the Sabo. We do see the big swing come in. Box with Sabo. Tell me if you've seen this play before. We are in the portion of the game where they're just looping Morias. But the player on the left does have 3 Morias now, which is going to make it pretty reasonable to start going for game. We are going to see 9 at life. We'll see a ditch on a 1k here. One of these babies, probably. He's counting up. Not sure what we're counting here. I'm imagining we just ditch a baby. Or maybe the Garp. Looks like he's on up a 2k though. That's fair. We're going to give him the Markano. Markano isn't doing anything, but is a 2k over a 1k, so, you know, but keeping these babies could be pretty nice to buff the leader efficiently. So, you know, at least there's that. Especially the baby ace, if he has... No, I think that's Luffy and Sabo, right? There's no ace. We do see the classic play though, 2 on leader, very nice. Trash 1 card from hand, probably going to see the trash on that ace, if he hasn't trashed yet. Judges just explaining that time has been called, so we are now in turn 0 for the player on the right. We will see the ditch on the ace, summoning back 2 Sabos to the life. Yep, 0, 1, 2, 3, very nice. Same time rules as for us in the West. It is a shame that these finals, the grand final of the CS, can go to time. You'd think they'd give them an unlimited clock, but here we are, what a time to be alive. We do see the Sabo loop out for the Sabo, very nice, draw 2, trash 2. We're getting low on cards in hand. Looks like we're ditching the 3rd Moria, I think he's right to do so. Bit too late for that, I fear. And what's the second ditch? Maybe this Garp. Maybe just this Garp. I think keeping all the 2Ks is obviously smart. You never know when you'll need a 2K over a 1K. Yep, gonna ditch the Moria and the Garp. And then we'll see the second Sabo come down. And we do get, we'll probably just see the ditch on the Brothers Bond and that an ace, maybe the ace. Goes with the Hyogo instead. Big swing into leader. He's debating whether to keep the Sabo or not. He's just going to ditch it. It's fair enough. He probably could have saved that. I don't think it really matters at this point. Now, what do we draw? We draw a Sabo, I think that is. I imagine we're just going to start going for game here, though. Yep, you got to restand those Morias. 3 blockers, no life, 9k leader. 5 cards. It might be tricky to get game, you know. It might be tricky. But he's eyeing it up. We've got 2 babies. We can resummon. I believe that is a Luffy and a Sabo. So we can at the very least resummon a couple of dudes. Cycle out a card with the Luffy. And get a blocker down with the Sabo. No ace in hand does give you 1 less attacker. If we'd had a baby ace, we could summon a rush ace back, which could be pretty nice. But we'll see what he goes for here. Pretty tricky lethal with 3 Sabos on the board. Going to be pretty tricky. Looks like we're eyeing up 10, 9, 10. Can't work it out. Not sure. Probably just 9 to start. And we do see 9 to start. I think that's sensible. I think we should probably counter one of these. We're going to counter with Flompe. Seems good. Looks like we're going to see 11. Yep, we do see 11. Going to get rid of most of these Sabos, I would imagine. Going to be pretty... Yeah, I'm not sure he can go for game now. Unless he can find a baby ace somewhere. But we'll see. See what he goes for here. Does ditch one of those Sabos. Goes in with another 11. That's going to require 1 more Sabo or 2 more cards. And then we've got 2 Don for leader effect, 2 Don for double babies, or 4 Don for double babies, excuse me. We do see the 3k here. So the player on the right choosing to keep their Sabos to attack with. Pretty interesting. We do see Luffy Sabo come out. Very nice. 2 for Luffy. Summoning the Luffy. And then leader effect. Sorry, buff the leader. Luffy effect. Cycle out. Just a Brothers Bond. You don't have to see that, but you can ditch it off Sabo. Sabo effect buffing the leader. And then draw 2, trash 2. Going to be ditching that Bond and a trash Luffy. And then we'll see another swing come in. Block with Sabo. Can we win on the clapback from the player on the right here? Can we bring back this miraculous comeback? We do have, what's that, 5 2Ks on the left? And a Garp? So probably not, but you got to imagine he's going to go for it, right? You got to imagine he's going to go for it. He's got double baby aces. He could leader effect. I think we've got 2 aces in the trash. We could summon back 2 aces and do like a lot of swings, actually. We can do quite a lot of swings here. He's going to ask to see the trash. Makes sense. Counting 2Ks probably. I think he's going to come to the realization there's not many 2Ks in there. They're all in the play on the left hand. This deck kind of like Sakazuki used to be in that respect. You just accumulate 2Ks towards the end of the game. So you're really hard to kill, deceptively so. But yep, we are going to see the player on the right make their final turn. No blockers, no way to get blockers back. So this will be the last turn for the player on the right. If they can't win, the player on the left is absolutely going to win on the clapback. But we'll see what they go for here. I think 2 for leader effect to summon double aces if they have it. Seems pretty good. And then you can ace for ace. And that's 4 Don to buff your leader by 4 and summon a 7k guy. Which seems pretty good. Just at the cost of 1 card, I suppose. The Hyogo doesn't really matter here. Because we're never countering. We're always dead on the clapback. We just need to get the biggest swings possible. We're going to start with Moria though. We're going to start with 11. And we do see 3k come down for the player on the left. Going to ditch one of those 2Ks and the Garp. Flompe and Garp, very nice. Player on the right's got to be thinking, it's not great. You don't love to see that. You don't love to see that at all. 4 in hand, but they're all 2s. I'm not sure I'm seeing a route for the player on the right. It's a really, really tricky situation. Really tricky. If he has double ace, he would have 999, 11, which is not bad, but it's not enough. Not sure what we're eyeing up here. Not sure what we're eyeing up. 2 on the other Moria. Going to see another 11 come in. Going to see 2 2Ks come out here, I imagine, from the player on the left. Yep, double Hyoris, and I'm pretty sure that's just going to be the game. Pretty rough turn of events for the player on the right here. But, you know, it is what it is. So we can do 9-9, right? But it's just not enough. And we're just seeing the concession here. Leader effect, adding 2 life back. But that's going to be it. Player on the left is going to be able to just win, coming back on their last turn here. Interesting that the player on the right didn't just concede at all, but here we are. We have 9-9 and then lots. 9-9, 10-11, 9-9, 10-11 with just what's on board. Hopefully we get a nice fast end game here. Yep, we just need 9s, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. We only need 4 hits to go through. We got 5. They've got 2 cards. 9s are guaranteed. They weren't able to buff their leader at all. There's 9, there's 9, there's 9. We will see the block with the Sabo. And there we go, there's 15. Oh, well, there's just 9. And we do see the win for the player on the left. Moria diff. What's more to say? The player on the left got to go second. Got Moria on curve. The player on the right couldn't respond with the Moria on the following turn. Both these players, don't get me wrong, both these players played extremely well, played to their outs, played as best as they possibly could. We saw no mistakes in this finals, which was lovely to see. But, you know, when you draw all the Morias and your opponent draws none on curve, it's pretty good. It's pretty good stuff. Either way, well played to both of these players. Thank you so much for watching the Hyogo CS. We'll be back next weekend, hopefully, with another CS. Well, I believe Tokyo's coming up. Not sure if that's next weekend or the one after. We've got another one next weekend. I'm looking forward to it. If you don't want to miss those, please drop me a sub. It's much appreciated. And I'll see you there. Have a lovely rest of your day.